Hey friends, so solving for distribution is an idea that it's not new. It's not, but it's a phrasing that I like and I've been using it, and it's caught on somewhat. And I just wanted to kind of talk more about it. It's basically marketing, right? But I think that when people say marketing, there's this whole memeplex or complex of what people think marketing means, and so it goes all the way from small businesses or private individuals, and there's this general sense of, oh, you got to do promotional activities or branding, or have a like logo and all those things, which are cool, right? They're cool things to do, but the bread and butter of a business or of any operation really that you're trying to find the right lighting. There's the lighting. This is lighting better here. Okay. Any operation that you're trying to do, any endeavor that you're trying to undertake, distribution is about getting the things that you want to the people that you want. And this is being a bit okay. Let's talk about Coca-Cola, right? So it's now a huge Fortune 500 company, probably, billions of dollars of revenue, many, like all over the world, international brand. What does marketing look like for them, or what does solve for distribution look like for them? They have concerns with regards to their brand identity that are not necessarily relevant to an individual who is trying to start a business or trying to grow a YouTube channel or whatever. And I am very much, at this stage in my life, I'm very much concerned with trying to help people who are starting out. And so the interesting story about the origin story of Coca-Cola is how do you sell your first 1,000 cups? Or because how they used to sell it was, there used to be these things called soda fountains in the US, right? Where this is like before fast food restaurants, and so I think there are no longer really any soda fountains because fast food is more lucrative, or specifics of that. I was reading about it, but I can't remember. Anyway, there used to be these places called soda fountains where you would go and you would order a soda, right? And that's pretty much the people go there to socialize, date, hang out. And so when Coca-Cola was invented, so first of all you have to have a good product, right? And Coke was a good product at what it did. They used to have syrup and they would pour it and whatever. And what the founder, or like the early guy, did was he would give out coupons to people for free, right? Like here's a free Coke, basically, the coupon, if you go to a soda fountain and claim it. And then he would also give free syrup, Coke syrup, to these soda fountain people. And these soda fountain people are like, well, I'm not gonna, like, if you're giving it to me for free, sure, I'll keep it, I'll see what happens, right? I might get rid of it, whatever. And then customers come along and be like, oh, I want a Coke, right? And then so that's how they solved like their early customer acquisition. And so once you have that flywheel going, people are like, oh, so the soda fountain guy is like, oh, customers like Coke. And people try it, and if they actually like it, because it's actually a good product, it's the important part. People try the Coke for free, they like it, they're like, oh, I guess I'll get a Coke the next time. And then the soda fountain guys are like, oh wow, people like Coke. And then Coke sells them the next round of syrup, right? And so that was how they solved the cold start problem, right? How they solved for distribution, by solving both sides of the market. And you'll find this story, there's versions of this story in a lot of places, right? Like in the early days, Airbnb would copy out the listings from like Craigslist and other places, and then they like just get very hands-on and get involved in setting up the listings for people, because no one's used to setting up those listings yet. It has not yet become a market, or it's not yet become a thing. And so that's how you solve for distribution, right? Like you think about who you're trying to reach and where they are and what they want. I feel like this video is not being, I haven't been as specific as I would like, and there's a lot more that I would like to say, but I'm probably just going to upload it anyway. It's 4 minutes. Let me see if I can keep going. What else is interesting about solving for distribution? I think people's intuitions, if you haven't run a business before, people's intuitions about how many people there are out there is miscalibrated. And people try to please their friends or try to please their peers, people around them. That's also kind of miscalibrated. if you're trying to get something done. So whether you're trying to write a book or you're trying to sell music, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, typically it involves you having to sell stuff to people, right? So you have to find people who want what you're doing or putting out or selling or making. You have to find people who want it, users, customers, whoever. And the thing about doing anything like that I think is unintuitive for people is that you should almost completely ignore people who aren't interested. Right? I mean, if nobody is interested, if you talk to 1,000 people and 0 people are interested, like, well, again, so first of all, are you talking to the wrong 1,000 people? Like, if you're going to, I don't know, if you're trying to sell heavy metal, like, just think of 2 like different markets where trying to sell something. I think Seth Godin gave an example of trying to sell vinyl records, high quality vinyl records for like new bands. And it turns out that the people who people who collect vinyls, they tend to want old music. So it's a very difficult sell to try and sell vinyls to like people who are interested in discovering new music. And there's all kinds of things like that, and it's about understanding your market, understanding what people care about. And again, when I say understanding your market, like that sounds vague and abstract, but I really always mean specific people. Talk to specific people about specific things and ask them about their specific problems and help them solve it, basically, right? And once you've helped, so like one of my algorithms or systems of thinking about how to write a book, for example, is, and feel free to steal this because it takes a lot of effort, and I would love it if everybody did this or if more people did this. And even if I could tell everybody about it, not everyone's going to do it because, again, distribution. Basically, find a problem that you care about, right? And talk to 1,000 people about the problem. And again, most people have never even spoken to 100 people about a problem before, or even like 50. Like really have real conversations with real people about the specifics of the problems that they face. Once you've talked to a couple of 100 people about some problem, you start to notice patterns, and you start to notice so patterns in the way the problem is, and also you start to notice specific details about the nature of the problem. And the better you are at describing the problem, so once you've talked to several hundred people about a problem, you will notice ways of describing it. You will notice common things in the ways they describe it. So I made a video a while ago that's like living up to your potential, and how it's okay even if you don't live up to your potential. I got that from asking a question on Twitter. I asked on Twitter, what if you've ever felt depressed, like if you've ever hated yourself before, why? Or like, what was it about? Like, tell me about it, I want to hear it. And a very, very common response to why do you hate yourself is that a lot of people said, I feel like I don't live up to my potential. So like dozens of people said that. So I'm sure that once you have like several dozen people who are into something, you can be reasonably confident that like millions of people are probably, okay, not millions, well, maybe millions like globally, right? Because there's billions of people in the world. But let's just say if you have a few dozen people who are into it, there's probably thousands of people who are into it, right? And so hearing a dozen people say that they're worried about not living up to their potential made it very clear to me that, okay, that's a thing. And so I can make a thing about the thing, right? And that did pretty well. A bunch of people really resonated with it. And the reason they resonated with it was because I was speaking to their specific experience. And in a funny way, as I'm making this video completely off the cuff, I wasn't really thinking about people that I've had this conversation with in recent times. So I feel like this video isn't as good as it could be, and I'm tired, but I'm just going to upload it anyway. And I will link the blog post that I have that is about this. And I think that's all for now. Let me know if you have any questions. I guess I'll make this like a part 1. Yeah, done.